Hey everyone, welcome back to Explainscape. Today we're talking about inflation, why prices keep going up, and why some of the most common explanations you hear online are actually wrong. Let's break it down using simple words and real-world examples. A lot of people believe inflation is caused by just one thing. Well, here are the biggest misconceptions. Number 1. Inflation happens because companies are greedy. Well, companies do want profits. That's always been true. Even when inflation was low, greed alone can't explain why prices rise across the entire economy at the same time. Number 2. Inflation happens because workers ask for higher wages. Higher wages can affect prices, but wages usually go up after inflation starts, not before. Workers are trying to keep up with rising prices, not causing them out of nowhere. Number 3. Inflation is only caused by printing money. Yes, printing a lot more money can cause inflation, but it's not the only cause. Sometimes, prices rise even when the money supply doesn't jump much. So if these aren't the whole story, what actually does cause inflation? Economists break inflation into 4 main types. The first type is demand pull inflation. This happens when a lot of people want to buy a product, but there isn't enough of that product to go around. For example, if everyone suddenly buys cars at the same time, but car factories cannot produce enough quickly, then prices go up. This actually happened during the pandemic when demand bounced back faster than supply. The second type is cost push inflation. This happens when the cost of making products goes up, so companies raise prices to cover those costs. For example, when oil becomes more expensive, transporting goods becomes more expensive, which leads to prices going up. As a second example, when there is a shortage in shipping workers, shipping costs rise, which then makes everything cost more. You're not paying more because companies got greedier overnight. Their cost actually increased. The third type is supply shocks. Sometimes something big happens that reduces the supply of goods, like global shutdowns, natural disasters, wars, sudden shortages of key materials. When supply drops but demand stays the same, then prices rise. The fourth type is monetary policy. This is when the central bank, like the Federal Reserve in the US, sets interest rates or changes how much money is in the system. If interest rates are low, people tend to borrow and spend more. And that leads to demand going up, which then can make prices rise. On the other hand, if the central bank raises rates, things slow down, which then causes inflation to usually drop. So what really causes inflation? Inflation usually happens because of a mix of high demand, higher production costs, supply chain problems, and/or government and central bank decisions. It's almost never just one thing. So understanding what actually causes inflation helps us to avoid blaming the wrong groups, understand government policies, make better financial decisions, and avoid falling for oversimplified explanations online. Inflation is complicated, but it can be explained in a simple way. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment on what topic you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching!